Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and this evening I'm joined with Ngala, who is a friend. We've hosted him here sometimes, was it way back, and he's a regular guest in our podcast. And today also we want to engage him on what is taking place and his view on the political situation in Kenya. Ngala, habari yako?
Nzuri sana Bwana Benson. It's been long, huh?
Eh, it's long time. The last time we had a conversation, we were in Kisumu. Remember?
Yeah, sure, I remember. And then you
So
decided to
decided to do what?
to go to the past. You don't know how far you've gone.
I tell
Huh?
you, like everybody is looking for a greener pastures. But anyway, we are still around. Hopefully, we will meet again and at least have some one-on-one conversation with you.
Okay, thank you very much. I wish you well.
All right, thank you so much. So, how are you doing so far? We the other day you just told me about the issue of chefing. Where are you chefing, and what are the delicacy that you are making, so that one time, if we find time, we can visit you and have some good taste of your food.
So, cooking is my hobby. One of my hobbies. I have some background on
Yeah.
hospitality,
Yes.
and cooking happens to be one of my hobby. Though I'm talented in art and craft. I do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
But then I knew you were wondering how is it that I'm a chef. Actually,
Yeah.
I thought I thought maybe next time we're doing a video,
Yeah.
uh, we must cook something live.
Okay.
I'll give
Okay.
you some.
Okay. That would be nice.
I want to give you a simple recipe of making what we call scrambled eggs. Do you love scrambled eggs?
I know. I don't know what I usually maybe if you give me the recipe that would be good. So we would know, and maybe we do the live session with it, and so majority of our viewers can also enjoy and at least learn something out of that.
It's a very simple recipe.
Mm-hmm.
You, I know you love eggs. Maybe you can do 3 eggs
Yeah.
and some cooking oil.
Yeah.
Prepare some butter.
Mm-hmm.
That is proper butter, blue band. Maybe at home we call it blue band.
Yeah.
A little bit of milk.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to stir the 3 eggs in a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You stir the 3 eggs in a bowl.
Yeah.
Add a bit of milk in the eggs.
Yes.
Stir it. Go through it. Stir it. Then
Mm.
heat your cooker, whatever you're using, your gas cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Put the pan, make it a little bit hot. Then
Mm-hmm.
throw in some bit of oil to make it ready for preparation.
Yeah.
Then you do chroma
Mm-hmm.
inside the pan.
Mm.
The eggs and slowly pour it on the pan. And you must have maybe a fork. If not a fork, your whisker.
Yeah.
So while you put the eggs on the pan,
Yeah.
keep whisking. You keep on whisking, yeah,
Yes.
so that you small particles
Mm.
until you feel now the eggs is scrambled. Yeah,
Yes.
the color has to be somehow golden yellow, whitish,
Mm.
and you can serve it with some bun
Mm.
or maybe bread, or perhaps if you have some vegetables that is like cucumber, something,
Oh,
kachumbari like.
all right.
Next. maybe you can have it with tea.
Okay, okay, that's nice. I think one of these fine days we will organize for live show, especially so that you can take us through the recipe, not only for the scrambled eggs, but any other delicacy that you might have in store, including the cuckoos, the nyama chomas, and all that.
How you marinate and do the rest. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what gives it flavors, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
All right, thank you so much, my brother. As we say, Dahlia, it has been a long time ever since we had a conversation, especially politics-wise and even the leadership of Kisumu. I think like our last conversation was about the leadership of Kisumu, and we discussed about how is Kisumu will be maybe in the next 10 years. And to
Yeah.
start with the Kisumu, the other day we had two incidences that are quite much worrying, especially for the investors. We saw one investor, is it Nyakangu, was attacked in his hotel in Lake Basin. Then it's also Otosi was also attacked by some we say goons. And when the PS yesterday was summoned to the state into the parliament, and he was asked about all that. One thing that he said that Kisumu is a hotspot of goons. As somebody who has grown up in Kisumu, uh, do you feel the CS was very right about our city?
Well, it's been worrying. It's been a worrying trend, and I must confess,
Mhm,
our youth who apparently have become extra wild.
mhm,
Yeah, this has been happening. It's not something that is recent. Some few months back,
mhm.
to have some quiet incidents that were happening, but they were being contained in the sense that they were local incitements and maybe attacks.
Yeah.
But it's escalating,
Mhm,
to a level whereby if we are not careful, it could embarrass who we are as a community,
true. Yeah.
because it shows how much there is lack of respect and discipline.
Mhm,
Uh, Nobody justified to take such kind of steps in broad daylight,
mhm.
escapes or is scot free. Like nobody will ask him, or it's very wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Not that-
Mm,
But I want to say that since I've been in Kisumu, these are things that have been there. And you
mm,
see, because it's ignored,
mm.
our youths are engaging themselves in a dangerous path. And probably there is need to find out why all these things is happening, because there has to be a reason why it is happening.
Yeah.
It's not just lose. And there are some people who are responsible. The
Mm,
big fish.
yeah.
These are just small fish that you're seeing are willing to sacrifice to be seen in broad daylight. That because when you see somebody, some young person doing something like that, it means there's protection, there's cover somewhere, and that is why he's bold enough to do it in the glare of broad day. Yeah, you understand?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So these
okay, go ahead.
small fish,
Mhm.
fish are inculcating this amongst our young people, and that is how militia are organized. By the time militia is
Mhm.
out of hand and you can't control it.
All right. Maybe just because, like, it's a story that we've been following, and even try to figure out how do they get emboldened like that and have this kind of like courage to walk and just commit these atrocities, but maybe no action is being taken, for instance. And we've also seen quite a number of leaders, the pictures going around about all these young men of Kisumu. Um, People are posting photos, like it has been accused, leaders are complaining, and so is behind this, so and so behind this. And we see that the leaders themselves, that photos that going around, that we see those young people are in with these leaders. Does it mean that the leaders might be involved and they do not want to admit, you know, and because like these photos are going rounds?
Actually, Benson, some of these youths are people that I know. I've grown with them at home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something, like I said, it's something that has been going on. And
Mm-hmm.
these are youths surviving. They get hired by these politicians. It's not one of them. That is why you are seeing several pictures circulating. I've seen them, and I've at some point been a victim of some of those youths, because at some point when we used to be involved in politics,
Mm-hmm.
politicians used to hire them against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a funny name that was being used to call them Sangwenya, something or sort. You know, where there's a politician, they always have to be there. They make the politician looks like he's important in front of people. Nobody touches him.
Mm-hmm.
That shows you the kind of leadership we have beyond what we are seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they attacked Osotsi and the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
It happens that the team that is with Osotsi now is accusing these, forgetting that sometimes back the same youths were also
Yeah.
moving around with. So there are youths who are always there for hire.
Mm-hmm.
They operate mercenaries.
Yeah. Okay.
And I a picture of some guy that I also know
Mm-hmm.
that has for many years working with politicians, just to see his image on social media accused of murder. How can a politician who is entrusted with the lives of his constituents work with a murderer? If you walk into some of these offices, even the bodyguards that they are working with, some of them have criminal record, dark criminal records, but they are protected by these politicians. So it is not something that has started today. You remember sometimes back we used to have the China squad, we had the Marine, yeah? And these are groups that come up in every political season.
Mm-hmm.
They take advantage of the political environment in
Mm-hmm.
order for them to. So what I can say is that there are better things that we can do beyond us being goons or being hired to do negativity. You know, these things haunt us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They will always affect you directly or your family indirectly. And if you're not careful, you might end up carrying a cross that does not belong to you, because you are being hired to go and do something on somebody's behalf, not for your own interest. And you'll come to realize that they're being paid peanuts out of this because their life never changes. Huh? What
Yeah.
they're paid is not change even
Mm.
their life.
Yes.
So, as a young man, I'd say that nobody nobody has the mandate or has the power to do
Mm.
something, because we have law and order. Huh?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and even some
So,
of them are being arrested because of their affiliation. Yeah,
yeah. Mm.
maybe they're with the other opponent, they have to pay for it. They're with the other group, pay for it.
Okay.
So you will just come to at the end of the day to realize that even the investigations that are being done are just
Mhm.
shallow. They are not
All right. Maybe you can fix your mic because like you're breaking. I cannot. You're not audible enough.
Law
Yeah.
and order is taking place. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that because this is a city that we all know. This is a city that we've all grown. We've survived in all this city for better part of our lives. And as you said earlier, this is not giving a city, especially a good image, especially for investors. And also to the leadership that actually are procuring these boys, because like by procuring them, they should provide long-lasting solution for their employment rather than engaging them in violence or acts that usually costs people's life also. So that is something that they should look into. Thank you so much, Kennedy Sankara, for joining us through Facebook. We are also seeing Actuary Okush. Thank you so much. We have Paulo. Thank you so much, and Judith also. Thank you so much for joining us. So, my brother, I want to engage you, especially. I know you are a big member of ODM, and the ODM has been the center of discussion ever since the departed leader Raila Amolo Odinga. So much has been said about it, and maybe on your perspective, especially from where you sit, what is the future of ODM looks like?
Uh, my friend Benson, there's a lot that is happening, and everything that is happening is still healthy for the party
Mm-hmm.
since our former party leader Raila Odinga, may his soul rest in peace,
Yeah.
left us,
Mm-hmm.
and the passing must have been digested in very different ways to very many people.
Yeah.
And if we speak, the people who are still mourning, they can't
Mm-hmm.
believe that not there.
Yeah.
I might be one of them, but
Mm-hmm.
his passing. If you look at how some of us are behaving, it will show you how we related with him, how we saw him. And ODM as a party was anchored on very strong pillars in order to give Kenya a new image compared to where we were before 2005 campaign on referendum. You remember? We had a contested referendum of the new constitution between the Waki and the Bomas draft. And you remember when Kivuitu coming up with the symbols of an orange and a banana in order for Kenyans to decide their fate on the between the Bomas and the Waki draft. Eventually, when the government came with the Waki draft and they were the banana on the banana side, and Raila as a friend to the government or the minister to the government then championing for a no with the orange due to the sabotage that was done against the will of the Kenyans when they wanted a new constitution that was drafted in the that was pushed in the Bomas. After the referendum, that is when the idea of Orange Democratic Movement was born. And this is 2005, several years back. So ODM as a party carries a lot of values and principles that has shaped this country. And Benson, if my memory is still clear, we had 5 people who organized or formed this party called ODM. And Raila being one of them, I remember there was Balala. I remember there was Charity Ngilu. There was this other guy from Central. What was his name? I'm trying to remember his name, but he also passed away.
Nyaga.
And
Joe
there was
Nyaga.
Joe Nyaga. Yeah, there was Joe Nyaga from Central, and there was now the sitting president, William Samoei Ruto. And by the time we were going for the elections in 2007 with the new party ODM, there was a clear distinction of a Kenya we want. And you remember the historical election that happened in 2007 when ODM carried the day, but the government used all the machineries they could to make sure that ODM did not see government. Fast forward, the reason why I'm trying to highlight all this. Today, we have a sitting president that was part of ODM. And when there was the anniversary that Baba was to attend, unfortunately, he didn't make it. And it happened. I saw the president attend that function. And he said he's a member of ODM. I don't think that it will be fair for him, in the absence of Baba, to have imagination or either think of how he can do away with ODM if indeed he was honest, especially during his last hours with Baba. They were very close. He came to the funeral. He talked about his closeness with the former prime minister. And that alone should make us have some hope that ODM is not just anything that somebody can wake up and wish away just because the former prime minister cannot be there anymore.
So,
ODM
so
strongest
in,
party.
in a nutshell, based on what I ask you, if you now talk about the future of ODM after the departed soul of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, what can you say? You say that ODM is still strong and is still has all that he had, or still holding the center stage?
ODM is still strong.
Yeah.
And my point was that whatever that is going on is still healthy,
Okay.
but again, still needs to be nurtured. It needs to be nurtured because we cannot assume that with the absence of Baba, that things are normal.
Maybe just to paint for you a picture, and I want to paint this picture based on the political, on how our political waters or our political environment works, especially all regarding the political parties. When you look at all these political parties, they have what we call personification, somebody who is behind them. We cannot convince ourselves and say that these political parties are institutionalized like other developed countries, whereby a party belongs to the people. These political parties, they have brands and names behind them. And there is this thought that since the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga departed and was buried at Kangoka Jaramogi, good part of ODM was buried too. Do you share the same thoughts?
My brother Benson, the people see it, but personally,
yeah,
There's a reason why I was trying to give you a
Yeah.
background of what ODM is all about.
Mm.
ODM stands to be the only party that is existing 20 years down the line and still with the majority in parliament.
True.
We have seen political parties being used as a vehicle to come into power, but once you've gotten there, it is dumped, and then you look for another vehicle to do what? To come to power. ODM has survived almost 4 major elections, being one of the popular party.
Mhm.
We cannot wash away or wish away the 4 elections to assume that ODM can be in one day.
Mm.
ODM has values and structures and principles that made it survive all those years. It's now almost 21 years since then. And these 21 years cannot be wished away very easily, no matter how strong you are
Mm.
or how influential you are. There are
Mhm.
reasons why it survived. And whoever it is that would want to see ODM done away with is somebody who we can say has no vision for this country. Ruto was a member of ODM. He's one of the people being accused that is finding a way of eliminating ODM. Uhuru Kenyatta, you remember when we went for the no campaign in the referendum, he was in ODM. In
Yes.
one way or it's either you've worked with Raila, who was the party leader of ODM, you've smiled with him, you've shared values with him, principles and structures on how to do things. If it is not Raila, then you've worked with ODM. So nobody can assume that ODM is now eggshells. ODM must stay, ODM must be nurtured, and those of our leaders who are on board must also find a way of inspiring the younger generation to take over so that they understand what ODM is all about.
Okay. Actually, you've spoken of something that I wanted to ask you before we go even to the zoning, because that is a big issue that right now is at the political field, whereby everybody is discussing. Talking about the young members of ODM, especially the younger or the energetic members of ODM, there's this also notion that they are not giving the leadership currently are not giving ODM young people an opportunity, especially to get involved in the activities of the party and even to assist in running of the party. And this was confirmed the other day when Eddie Okech, a good senator from Migori, actually raised some issues concerning the same. For instance, and yesterday I mentioned ODM as this lady called Alionia, who she's very vocal on social media. I think she's in the Women League. But you find now we have the youth convention. But when you look at the flyers, you do not see the pictures of young people, especially in those flyers. Flyers, I mean, they were going to Malindi, I think this week. When you look at that, there are no youth from Malindi who has been. How is that one making youths to have hope that our energy or our assistance is needed if the flyers only contains or only has the old guards, especially in ODM when it comes to the youths?
There's what we call intergeneration, yeah?
Yeah,
We have the Gen Zs who have been vocal of late,
true,
but cannot wish away the millennials who have also been there.
true.
And there is no way that the Gen Z can expect to take over before the millennials get or are rewarded for their achievements. Because
Mhm,
we cannot assume millennials have never done anything for this country
mhm,
up to where.
mhm,
So coming back to the issue you are raising about the older and the younger generation.
Mhm.
You see, if we are organized, why do we have to wait for the older generation to call for a youth gathering? Why can't we do it on our own? And then we invite them. Why do
Mhm.
they have to organize it? Yeah. And then we expect them to allow us, yeah, to control what they have organized.
Sure.
That is where there's a problem.
Mm.
If you see that we are not able to organize ourselves, then it shows you that there's a very big problem. And that
Yeah.
is why you might think that they are taking advantage or maybe mileage over such arrangements.
Mhm.
But if themselves, sometimes they are worried that if you are given that opportunity, you might end up taking a wrong direction.
Mm. Okay. So, so from there now we agree that there's a problem, especially even in the structure of organization or involving either the millennials and even the young people, especially in ODM. So, which means it lacks the inspiration for the young people based on even the youth convention that they are starting to organize.
You see, with age, you see, they say the sweetest wine is that one that is older.
Yeah.
There's a saying, it's not like that, but I'm aware of a saying that if you want to have the best wine, yeah,
Yep.
the longer it takes, the more it gets sweeter.
Mhm.
Age comes with a lot of wisdom and experience a lot, yeah.
Mhm.
As we speak, nobody ever knew
Mhm.
because Raila was not a stone
Mhm.
that will last for
Mhm. You're breaking. I think there's a problem with your
that
internet.
one day
Mhm.
yourself, Baba.
Mhm.
And at a time like this, it's a wake-up call for all of us to give ourselves room so that we are able to rectify our weaknesses.
Yep.
Ever.
Mhm.
Just because you need an opportunity does not mean you undermine the
Yep.
existing
Mhm.
structures. You cannot undermine somebody who is older in order to prove that you are either stronger or you are more wiser than the older person. So there's
Okay.
conflict in how we also communicate.
Mhm. Okay. And
As we
now,
speak,
go ahead.
there's a very big wrangle between the party leader Oburu and the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna.
Mhm.
You know, age is very important. Somebody like Oburu is like the age of your father.
Mhm.
The moment you go public and you start saying, or you start calling somebody who is the age of your father a mediocre,
Mhm.
it shows how personal, yeah, how personal and how emotional you are as a leader,
Mhm.
which is not positive to the kind of leadership that maybe this same old person you would wish to hand over to you.
Mhm.
So respect is very important. And the fact that these people maybe are seen, it does not, their image is you and you are their image. It's not like I'm supporting or maybe favoring a particular clique of leadership, but
Mhm.
even me as a younger person, I've always hoped. There's a times when we had the Luo Council of Elders elections,
Yeah.
and I remember I mentioned it that forum when I asked the Jodongo
Mhm.
that they need so that we are able to understand, and they saw the concern. But you see, the way I asked made them understand. I did not attack. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
some of us talk to, they talk at these leaders. Yeah, and you know, even at home, your father will always eventually pick that person you think cannot be in the limelight
Mhm.
to inherit position. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that we don't need to panic about anything as long as we still exist. At some
Okay.
point, that opportunity, because even they themselves, they were young at some point.
Mhm.
And remember that you who is young right now will one day reach at that age and you'll demand for respect.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So let us not build and feel like we are drunk with power
Mhm.
the way some of us are.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And you've mentioned something about Edwin Sifuna and Oburu Odinga, and that is where I wanted also to come and at least know, or maybe you can enlighten us more, especially when it comes to leadership of ODM. And people have argued that right now the leadership of ODM is very weak because they do not have the center to hold, because the person that was holding them was the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. That was one of the reasons. Secondly, they also say that because there's a push and pull, especially amongst the leaders, also make ODM weak. And some people have gone to the extent of questioning about the leadership of Oburu Odinga, uh, putting in consideration his age and the energy to uh, energize the party. And they feel like at the age where Oburu is, there's nothing that he might need more in life. So he should give way for the younger people. Secondly, people also have questioned about his political journey, whereby um, uh, people have said that at some incidences he has always been assisted, especially when he was running for the Senate for Siaya. He did not do well. The brother had to pick him. He also was nominated to the IALA just because he did not make it. How can you gauge, or what assurance can you give those who have panicked, or those who are panicking about ODM, about the leadership that we have, especially when you look at the capability and the future of ODM in the hands of Oburu Odinga?
You know, even if you ask Oburu himself,
Mhm.
he will tell you that he cannot fit into Baba's shoes.
True.
That is one.
Mhm.
Secondly, whoever thinks that Oburu's age does not justify or maybe qualify him to be in that position,
Mhm.
Baba and Oburu are almost age mates. So it's like you're saying that even Baba,
I lost you. Okay, I think I've lost Ngala. As we are still waiting for him, he will come and at least help us to understand some of these questions, especially so many people are questioning the leadership of Oburu Odinga, putting in consideration his age. And as you know, um, the politics of today requires somebody who is very energetic. So people are questioning. Let me see at Brother Benson what our brother is saying here. At Benson, Oburu has always been a conformist. Uh-huh. All right. Thank you so much. As we still wait for our good friend to come back to the show, because today is a guest day, we are having one-on-one conversation with one of our guests, especially those who are in the ground, so they can tell us what is really happening on the ground. There's something also that is happening in South Africa. I don't know whether you've come across all these videos about South Africa. You know, it's so sad that the South Africans have decided that they do not want to see other African countries, especially to come and work in South Africa. So the other day I saw one that they were questioning. This gentleman was from Ghana, and they were questioning him and said that go to Ghana, go to Ghana. And you know, I see the irony. If these are Africans that you share everything with them. The only thing that you don't share is the borders that were created by the colonizers. That is what you're not sharing, because they're the borders. And you're telling these Africans to go back to their country, yet you're the same people who are complaining about apartheid. So it seems that it doesn't make sense for me, especially if you are a South African and you're telling other Africans to leave to go to their country. Remember, even some South Africans, they're in these African countries. So if you decide like that, what if other African nations also decide they don't want to see any other African citizen, South African citizen in their country? How will Africa be? So I think South Africa people, they need to go back to their senses and um, uh, you know think of one as, hey, you're back, brother.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Somebody was calling and
Okay. Sorry about that. You were talking about the leadership of Oburu, and you mentioned about being the same age almost with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But if you look at their political journey, there's a big much difference between Oburu and Raila political journey.
yeah, like I was saying,
Yeah.
firstly, even Oburu will say nobody can fit in Oburu's father. Even Oburu himself will confess. And personally, I
Mhm.
know that nobody can. Everybody's trying to be Raila Odinga right now, but they cannot.
Mhm.
Even Winnie said you cannot copy and paste his father.
Yeah.
That is one nobody can do, because that man carried Kenya in his hands like this. And that
Yes.
is why you're seeing very huge confusion
Yeah.
today.
Mhm.
So you cannot disqualify Oburu for not
Mhm.
being Raila.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Mhm.
of course, not his own political history.
Mhm.
But you see, Raila was Raila politically, and
Mhm.
Oburu was Buru as a brother.
Mhm.
But however,
Mhm.
his position as the party leader as we speak
Mhm.
was something that came up within the party officials.
Mhm.
There was a dispute. There was a about it,
Mhm.
and there was a challenge that the C should be called so that there's a clear way of recognizing him as the party leader.
Yep.
When that was organized, the same people who were challenging
Mhm.
never attended so that they could influence their own interests
Yeah.
or maybe contest for the same position. So you'll wonder, what do they want?
Yeah.
Because there was an opportunity for people to come and contest for the same position. Instead
Mhm.
of them going there, they also organized another part
Mhm.
where they had the right, of course, to express themselves, but with their position, it is not acceptable. It shows that there is lack of political maturity in some of the steps that they were making on that day.
Okay.
So
Um. Mhm. All right. I lost you again. I think uh, nimempoteza sana. Angalau bado huko.
yes, I'm getting you.
Okay. Now, let's just come and at least uh, narrow it down to what we are saying, especially in ODM, because like um the leadership of that party right now is fractured. It is weak as we speak, because we have the Sifuna faction and the Oburu faction. Though both of them are fighting for the ownership of ODM, or both of them are fighting to inherit the base of Raila Amolo Odinga, because their majority of their speeches or majority of their sayings, 100% is centered about what Raila taught us. Like all of them are students of Raila, pulling in different direction, are not agreeing uh, to work together. They have their own political differences. So
Mm.
when you look at the faction of Sifuna, headed by James Orengo, Sifuna, and uh, Babu Owino, do you see them having any influence in ODM, especially if they're working the same way they're working? Are they weakening the party, or is when they're making that party stronger?
Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I might not be able to understand where all these functions are
Mm-hmm.
headed towards,
Yeah,
but I think they are all ODM members.
yeah.
And firstly, I'd like to appeal for them to remember or to have an insight of what ODM is all about, where it started, and where it should be. But every political party has an organized structure on how to solve its issues, how to address its issues. And some of these things that you're seeing, in one way or the other, are violating political parties act on how things are supposed to be happen. And
Mm-hmm.
steps where there are situations whereby bold steps are supposed to be taken, and the delay that is happening in making these bold steps
Mm-hmm.
is what weakening the party, because some of them, the longer these cases take, the more they take longer, the
Yeah.
more they feel like they are superior or they are feared, and that is why they can't be sanctioned, they can't be summoned, they can't be punished.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be judgmental on who is right or wrong, but what has destroyed leadership in Kenya
Mm-hmm.
is because we have leaders who always champion for their own personal interest.
Mm-hmm.
An opportunity like this make them find ways of using or using people as ladders.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who to call an opportunist, because when you're on the Sifuna side, they call the Oburu side opportunists. When you're on the Oburu side, they call the Sifunas opportunists. But you see, this conflict that is back and forth is hurting followers, those strong followers of Baba, those who believed in ODM as a party, a party that is to exist beyond Baba, beyond Oburu, beyond Sifuna.
Yeah.
If you listen, Baba talking about ODM passionately, at some
Mm-hmm.
point wished that be like ANC party in South Africa, where it's not about an individual, it's about the people and its political manifest. So this back and forth game of who is who
Yeah.
helping at all, or even ignoring the political structures and laws and how it's supposed to be done, just because they're looking at their own interests. And I think this should stop.
No. Okay.
Being on top, Sifuna being on top, the Babu Owino Rengo, behaving like that to me is a little bit childish.
Mm-hmm.
It's creating confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we know what is supposed to be done. Everybody who followed Raila knows what Raila stood for, knows what Raila wanted, because the Raila to see was in us. You don't have to be told what Raila said.
Mm-hmm.
So, a psychopath,
Mm-hmm.
if sit down and start listening to what Sifuna is saying today so that I can make a decision on ODM,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I've not been around to start listening to what the Oburu function is saying about ODM. We all know what Baba stood for and
Yeah.
what Baba wanted.
Okay.
So nobody can say what Baba said and what he wanted right now. That is a big joke of the day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's come to the contentious issue that is right now people are talking about, and some of the ODM members are advocating about zoning, especially in strongholds of ODM, whereby ODM feels that if they are going into negotiation or if they are going to work with UDM, one of the talking agenda is about zoning, whereby where the ODM is so popular and their partner, that is UDA, should not fill in a candidate. And on the other side, as I listened to Hassan Omar, the Secretary General of the party, was inviting ODM to fill in candidates where UDA is popular. Are you for this or you're against this, the zoning?
Personally, as a member of ODM,
Mm-hmm.
I support zoning.
Yeah. Why?
However,
What is the reason behind you supporting it?
Benson,
Mm-hmm.
much as I support zoning, zoning is not do or die.
Yeah.
Zoning is part of any political party. It is not only within ODM. It is something that has existed even before. It did not start today with ODM.
Yeah.
And the only reason why zoning is part of an agenda today or a discussion with the president is simply because ODM feels that it is friendly to the party which nominated the president.
Mm-hmm.
It is very healthy to have such kind of discussion when you are hot with each other politically.
Mm-hmm.
The president and the UDA party cannot assume that ODM has not played any significant role in its administration,
Yep.
especially when UDA as a party had its own internal wrangles and conflict, and at some point the president was being overthrown, and it is this ODM that came and helped him when he had no any other choice.
Yeah.
So you cannot take away some of the requests that ODM is requesting. Now, zoning. What is zoning?
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are only saying that that there is a conflict between UD and ODM now because of zoning, but they are not able to understand what zoning is all about, and they don't know that even where they are, that zoning is still going to be part and parcel of their elective post where they will be.
Mm-hmm.
Any stronger party will always want to seal its zones so that it becomes stronger and popular with the majority.
Mm-hmm.
You are aware of our nominations and elections in Kenya, where we have candidates who shift party hopping.
Yep.
They are not popular.
Mm-hmm.
They lose an election. They don't accept. They shift other parties in order to overthrow what is happening. We have
Mhm.
had sham general elections where sitting presidents influence elections of losing candidates in order to strengthen their political parties in government so
Mhm.
that they can. When a party has majority, it has the strength and the power to negotiate for its people in relation to its political manifest. Currently, what ODM zone are seeing as development, or the positive relationship between ODM and the government, is because of the strength and the power of the majority they have in parliament.
True.
In order for you to be strong and popular and being able to negotiate, you must have a majority as a party. You must have security for your candidates that will contest within your party, so that you are not in a position whereby you have winning candidates who lose their positions at the general election because of mischief that we have seen in every electoral commission that handles the elections at the end of the day. You've
So
seen what IEBC.
let me just ask you, especially here in zoning, because for instance, you've given us a history and said that the zoning did not start with maybe upcoming election that is coming in 2027. But does it worry you as a member of ODM, especially, for instance, a place like Homa Bay, whereby you enjoy the massive support? You find that you're still saying that, okay, this is going to be our zone. We do not want to see a UDA candidate, as per some of the members are saying. So, does it worry you? That is first question. Second question, if to say, because you are having a negotiation with the UDA, you say that, okay, now the UDA candidate is not going to run for elective seat in this constituency or in this part of the county. What about other political parties? Are they allowed to run, or also you're going to zone them out, bearing in mind you're not in any agreement or political negotiation with them?
You see what is happening, huh?
Yeah.
Happening is that actually, why is it that you want UDA not to accept zoning, yet there are other political parties that you can also shift to and prove that you're a popular candidate against UDA and ODM?
Yeah, that's the question we are asking. Why then do we insist and say that, okay, we are going to zone this area? Maybe because, like, from what we are getting, or is that the complaints is that if we are going to work with you, zoning has to be one of the agenda on the list of negotiation, which means, yeah.
If
So
ODM,
yeah.
are you getting me? If ODM is working with the UDA,
Mhm.
there will be two candidates from the same coalition. Yeah,
Mm.
we shall be two candidates from the same agreement partners
Mhm.
who are popular. The moment these two people are contesting, we
Mhm.
also have some other parties with their candidates. So
Mhm.
what normally happens is that if these two people don't agree and go to the ballot, they are most likely to vote for the same coalition, and the weaker party succeeds. That is one disadvantage. Are we there?
Mhm.
That is one disadvantage. Number two disadvantage, if you're a candidate of ODM and you are perhaps two or three candidates within at the nominations
Mhm.
of ODM,
Mhm.
then what happens is that maybe out of the 3, 4, one of them, maybe say normally it's the second runners up, that always complains that he was not fairly
Treated.
Given an opportunity to get the position. Then what happens is that this number 2 hopes from ODM, to the closest party, which could be UDA, because he was within the coalition. Perhaps we agree that now they didn't agree on zoning. He can easily go to UDA and influence UDA to campaign for him, because now he's a UDA candidate. This is the sitting party candidate. This where the sitting is coming from. It is so obvious that the president will have to campaign for its candidate. How is it going to be healthy for the president to campaign for his candidate, and at the same time ODM is also campaigning for its candidate?
Okay. All right.
It's about goodwill. It's about goodwill. If I told you, it's not do or die, it's a negotiation. But if A suggests that it doesn't want zoning, we feel healthier for ODM to go back to the grassroots and declare a combative campaign against UDA, unlike having a soft campaign. As this is my brother, he's the hyena that is waiting to attack you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's also switch gear a little bit, because, like I'm seeing, we are almost winding up. What would you say as a member of ODM that what is happening right now between the ODM and UDA? It may end up like ODM being a Luo political party. Do you agree with some of those ideas or talking that people are saying, like, at the end of the day, it will end up to be like a party that is mainly a Luo political party, from national outlook to a Luo political party?
It will be so unfortunate. It will be unfortunate for ODM to be narrowed to a Luo political party. But as Luos, need to stick together and make sure that ODM doesn't die completely. Baba brought us together, and unfortunately he left us, and we cannot chain people. It's upon them to see on their own. We cannot chain them to stay. That is why I'm saying you will be able to know how people used to see Baba, because those who love Baba cannot walk out of ODM. All the memories, all the values, all whatever that comes with ODM cannot be wished away. That because people come and talk.
Okay.
So yes, I'd only plead with the Luo community, in as much as ODM might be abandoned, but let it not happen within us.
Okay.
And
all right.
It's time for us to come and speak one language. Let me tell you, my grandfather used to tell me, that even sometimes dogs are more brilliant than human beings. Are we there?
Yes.
That sometimes when you find dogs in the compound fighting for a bone, you think they are enemies. But when an enemy touches the fence or tries to enter the boma inside the compound, all dogs will unite to make sure to defend the compound. Why can't we just be together and defend being, yeah? Why can't we just think like dogs for once so that we make sure that we are secured and we are protected? These people should not let opposition destroy ODM, because all these things are happening because opposition has found an opportunity. Some of these people,
what do you mean by
Ben,
opposition?
some of these people you see in opposition, they
Yeah.
speak right now about like we don't know what kind of relationship they had with Raila. If Raila was to wake up today, the same people who are saying that afadhali Raila nangekuwa president will shoot him back to his death.
But the same, no.
Those were saying,
okay. I agree with you on that. But at the same breath that you are saying the people of opposition, in the year 2022, when we were going towards general election, there are some of the things that even the president said about Raila, and they ended up working together because that is political interest. Or it is okay because Raila was alive that president would say all things, manner of things about him. The only person that I know, Raila never went. Raila is somebody who was very neutral to his political competitors. He was not very harsh on some of them. But like, if we want to kind of like complain about the opposition, yet even president also towards general election, he said manner of things about Raila. So where's the difference?
you know,
where's the weighing scale here?
You need to listen to what I'm saying, Benson, yeah?
Yeah.
What is destroying Kenya today is because we have politics of hypocrisy.
True.
There is no day that I saw Raila become so personal to an extent that he would wish a leader dead. There is no day that you are Raila's rival he will not attend your funeral saying that you are his enemy. He will still come, remember the happy days with you.
Yeah.
If there's anything maybe was in between you, he will confess it. At the end of the day, he was never personal with anybody.
Yes.
Raila, in his lifetime, there are people who wished him dead. The people who tried to even kill him. You remember sometimes back when Raila was fighting for what was rightfully owned by Kenya, and his car would be sprayed with bullets.
That was
during the Sufuria movement.
I remember well.
Do you remember when his car was sprayed with bullets?
We saw that
in the Mandamano.
Yeah, the photos around, there are photos going rounds. We have them.
Yeah, who are doing these things?
You cannot, you know, and now that is also, now that is the same way I'm having a point of departure with you, because you're talking about hypocrisy, and the same time you're explaining that hypocrisy. By the time this one was happening, it was, the administration was still new under the leadership of President William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, you know.
Yes.
And if the blame has to be given, we cannot be very specific. We have to blame the entire administration of whatever happened. You cannot specify that it was this person, because that is the hypocrisy that we are talking about that is killing us until today. That we only sometimes, if our interests align, we tend to put the blame game somewhere, and we are not going to the core issue and solving it. And that's where the problem we have.
Yeah, that is why I'm telling you, Benson, yeah, that in the image of Raila, there is no day Raila ever wished anybody dead. There's no day when you are dead, Raila will clap that you deserve to be arrested.
Yeah.
But there are people who wished him that in his lifetime. True. And even if you wished him that, he will still come and smile with you. He will still come and laugh with you and shake hands with you. That's Raila.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone, we are seeing the people who wished him that way now purport that they wished him alive.
Yes.
And that they wished he succeeded.
Uh-huh.
That is a big joke. They're only saying it because they know that he's not there.
Okay, let me also
When
ask you.
somebody says that he wished Raila was the
Yeah,
yes,
let me ask you also, because you've told us who Raila is, who would, and we've seen circumstances. This is, and I hope you're talking about Rigathi Gachagua. We've seen circumstances whereby Raila has put the country first and had even a handshake with Moi after he went through a lot under the same administration. Yeah, we've seen that, and how he usually put his country first.
Mhm.
As a student of Raila, why can't we learn from him and make sure that even those who wish him dead, yeah, why can't we also talk to them? Because like eventually, if Raila was alive, he could have done that. He himself, he could have done, because he has always done it. What is so difficult, especially for those who are supporting, who are his student, to follow in his footsteps? What is so wrong about that?
That is why I'm saying,
Mhm,
there's something that Raila once said,
mhm,
that everything that I'm doing for Kenyans, not for me, because
mhm.
at my age, I think I have had what I wanted and I've seen whatever it is that I could have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever it is I'm doing it on behalf of Kenyans. And
Yes.
remember, this was a few months to his death. Yeah.
Mhm.
For him to speak like that, you remember that there are people who wished him even dead when there was a message that he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
There are people who wished him to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So sometimes what we are seeing, the confusion we are seeing today, that we see in our leaders,
Mhm.
is an image of who we are as Kenyans.
So
Because
who
these
should?
leaders,
Okay, go ahead.
these leaders are elected.
Mhm,
They don't just impose themselves.
mhm,
They are elected. And
mhm,
if you look at some campaigns that
mhm,
these leaders do,
mhm.
some of them were becoming leaders because they talked evil against
Yep.
Raila.
Mhm.
And some of our side were becoming leaders because they spoke against the other opposition
Yeah.
president. And we elect them based on that. After that elections, we start saying how Kenya's bill looks like these leaders are not helping us.
Mhm,
We are to blame.
mhm.
And I pray and hope that the day Kenyans will speak one language, the day Kenyans come together and reason as one,
Mm.
that is that this country will change. But if we are still divided along the tribal lines,
Mhm.
can't even fight corruption because our person is benefiting and
Benefiting.
we are doing it. We cannot challenge moral values because we elect rogue leaders. Even the goons, we have goons in our leadership. They get elected for being goons. There's
Help.
so much that has country that you wonder when Kenya will ever change. You remember, we have two presidents who have been elected and they have international criminal court cases.
Mhm. But what happens?
Where, where is the integrity?
Let me tell you, from maybe I'm not so much experienced or to Mr. to have more knowledge in terms of leadership, but something that I'm assuring you, this is something that I've always said, that uh, the big um, the people who are costing Kenyans or is costing Kenya as a country are not even the leaders that you see. Those are not the problem.
Mm,
The problem of Kenyans are the voters themselves. Those are the problem. Because the reason why
exactly.
the problem is, for example, um, when they're told to make right decisions, they don't make, and they will always go with that negativity and say that, okay, this is our person, and we have to what to go with it. And I want to give you a typical example. One, um, when Rashid Echesa was appointed to be the CS, it was okay, and people question his education and all that. When Gaucho was
Mm.
appointed, I'll just give you the same scenario. When Gaucho was appointed, yes, the other day, today actually was the first day in his office, his educational background was questioned. When we were headed toward general election, especially the papers for you saw what happened when about Sakaja papers, all the news that was going around, he did not attend all that. But at the end of the day, the institutions that have been given mandates to investigate all that said that, okay, it is okay, his papers are in order. Then you ask yourself, why then would you question, especially this person? Just maybe because you're not aligned with him politically. So the people who are costing this country is not that they are the voters themselves, because sometimes they
Mm.
choose to support, which is wrong, just because they're aligned to particular political party, and sometimes they choose not to support just because they don't align to that, but they forget the rule and the rule of law and following the constitution. So, as you said
Yeah.
earlier, the only time it will happen is when the Kenyans come together and realize that, okay, this is what we need to do. And for that, if they do not, the voters themselves do not realize that, I tell you, even if a new administration today, Ruto gets out of the office and you bring in a new administration, the challenges will still be there. They are not going to be perfect, I'm telling you, because the system that we've put in place.
Even the kind of opposition that we have today is a recycled type of leaders that have been tinted with several negative cases that are revolving around them.
But
So
that is,
you'll ask yourself,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, you'll ask yourself, where is hope in this country? You know, there was a time when Kenya had one agenda. Kenya was one. Kenya spoke one language of Harambe, and that was before 1963. We all had one agenda, and we wanted Kenya to belong to Kenyans. Story for another day. We must find out what went wrong.
The voters and the leaders.
It is very important. We must go back. It's called the Genesis. We must go back to what went wrong.
You know, and I'm telling you this, people can go back to those Genesises and all say that, and say that this is where the rain started beating us. But
Yes.
what stands out is that we still do not have what we call Kenyaism in us, you know,
We are not,
because
not
we are
yet
not part of
patriot.
we are the patriotic part of us is not there, because what drives us is self-interest. Even today, for example, we are talking about ODM of 20 years. That 20 years that you see ODM is celebrating today, it was not something that was built, that Raila just woke up and built it for 20 years. No, this guy, the 20 years was built even in Nyayo House, in those chambers. Nobody understands. And I tell you for a fact, what is happening in
The people,
ODM is the people who are in the leadership of ODM do not understand what ODM is all about. They claim to be the students of Raila, but they did not, there's nothing that they gained out of Raila. What they gained was to ride on his umbrella and his power to get those positions. And
yes.
I'm telling you, this is because uh, this is my thinking. I might be wrong, but as time goes, the more we near 2027, the more the vision and what ODM stands for is being buried, because the people who are the helm of that leadership do not understand the party. They do not understand the struggle. They do not understand what it took, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, to build that party for the last 20 years. And if I want to tell you they don't understand, is this. If somebody has built a party for 20 years, somebody has just been buried, he has not taken even a month, and you're going to celebrate 20 years of that person, what does it tell you about the leadership of that party? How can you celebrate a party, yet the person who built that party is still fresh in the grave? It doesn't make sense.
Mm.
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. You're celebrating 20 years of a party, and the person who made that party is still fresh in the grave. And you are dancing. You are dancing, you're celebrating. You've lost a pillar. Aye, my friend. And then somebody wants to tell me that these people understand the values and what ODM stand for. Ah, come on, my brother. No.
Okay. I
I,
got.
I don't believe. It's a common sense. You can postpone. You can postpone that and say that, okay, this is a mourning period for these 40 days. In our culture, you know what 40 days means. We have 40 days. What does that 40 days? Do you think that those 40 days were just there for fun or for celebration? It meant something. It gives you to heal. Find a way how
Yeah.
you can pick up yourself. You cannot pick yourself within a 1 week after losing somebody like Raila Odinga, and you start to walk and run and do that. It means that you were not in the vision of this guy.
Like you said, maybe we are not right, but you can say yours.
We are not. We, and that's why I tell you that the leadership, they don't understand. They don't. They did not. They were student, yes, but they did not get the chance to study this person. They were
Yes.
under that umbrella, but none of them in
Mm.
that umbrella, none of them was holding even the centerpiece of that and understand like how strong is this umbrella. You know, how strong was this one stick of the, you know, when you hold an umbrella, how strong or weak it was. You know, that's why they don't understand. My friend, you cannot
Yes.
celebrate a party after 20 years, then the person who sacrificed for that party is lying 1 week on the grave. Oh, maybe, I don't know. But that one alone, I say, hapa naye, wena. The South Africa say, wena.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, okay, my brother, maybe your last remarks, but I hope we will continue to speak more.
Yes. Maybe if I'd like to say my last comment is to request that let ODM unite. When we are divided, we cannot build anything. So whatever function you are in, you need to come down perhaps without pride,
Yeah.
so that we are able to reach out to some of the principles and values of ODM that are yet to be realized and achieved. Remember, us going to the broad-based government was not the target. It is about changing the lives of Kenyans. Whoever you are, it doesn't matter, but that is what ODM stood for. We are not enemies with anybody. And to the opportunists, please do not take so much time to see us down. ODM must prevail, must remain strong, and we shall still stick to the value core principles of this party. I hope that ODM will stay so that others can also, ODM should remain as a monument that all Kenyans will have to remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's true.
So
It
thank
has.
you, brother, for the interview.
Yes.
And maybe next time, are we cooking?
Yeah, yeah. When you are cooking, I need to come live so that we set the cameras and everything. So as we have a conversation and discussion, so we are cooking as
Yes.
we ask these questions, and I'll organize that. Just let me look at my schedule, then I will let you know. Otherwise,
Okay.
thank you so much for taking your time to be here. This is Brother Benson, and also we are streaming this on Kikao na Sauti. Actually, we will do that on Kikao na Sauti because Kikao na Sauti is more or less a Kiswahili, where we talk about Kiswahili most of the time, you know.
Okay.
I appreciate, and I really thankful for you creating for us an opportunity to have a conversation with us. I will still engage you on some other matters because, like, you are the only person, you are the ODM members, you are ODM member, so we need to learn more, especially from you. And next week also, I will be also hosting another member of ODM so that we can talk about these issues. But there are so many questions, my brother, that we do ask, especially even if you're not a member of ODM. ODM made a history in this country. 20 years is not just 2 years. That's long. If you look at history of political parties in Kenya, so many political parties have been formed. Now we have a new political party. Yeah, and to endure the political terrain and weather and for 20 years, it's not a joke. So if the 20 years will just end like that, you know, sometimes it historically it sometimes pains, but it's also a question about the independence and the democracy of our political parties. So we will engage more about that. All right. I don't know whether Makobura is around. If he's not around, then we will have to tufunge the show. Okay, asante sana. Tulikuwa na mgeni wetu hapo anaitwa Ngala. Ngala ni mwenyeji sana sana wa Kisumu na pia ni mwanachama wa ODM. Tulikuwa tunataka tu kusikia wazo zake hususan sana kulingana na chama cha ODM pali chama cha ODM kipo. Hayo ndio tuliweza kuzungumza. Sijui kama Makobura uko area ama uko area. Let me go to the comment here. Junet, habari gani? No, you can't reason with Kenyans because you are in the past. Me, Junet, mimi niko past wapi? Yes, kakangu, sema. Okay, asante sana. Mi nashukuru sana kwa muda wako. Let me take this opportunity also to thank everyone who was with us in this. Thank you so much and may God bless you. Tomorrow we'll be coming here again with Musimamo on evening with the Swahili session. Thank you so much and may God bless you.